Let us for a few moments focus our mind on the Divine Spirit and pray for the peace and happiness of the whole humanity. Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatar Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah. Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Pratyormamritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. Sri Ramakrishna has shown the way. He is the light of lights. He has shown the way how to get rid of ignorance. He has given many spiritual instructions to practice. So it depends upon us. It depends upon our aspiration, how strong we are in our spiritual aspiration. Accordingly, you will have the result. Spiritual life has to be taken very seriously in order to achieve the goal. That means you must be ready to pass through struggles. Struggles. Why these struggles? Because the worldly propensities are so strong in us. They involve us too much. They won't allow you to give them up. They won't allow you to take spiritual path. That's the fact. Let us face the truth. Practice comes afterwards. First you should know what is what. What is darkness, what is light. What is ignorance, what is knowledge. You should have that basic knowledge of these things. Then you know where you are. Then you won't complain. You won't point finger to anyone else for your drawbacks, because the truth is given open. Look, this is the truth. Find out yourself. That's the way. Why this struggle comes? It's because of the mind. Mind is the supreme ruler as long as we are pulled and involved constantly in the worldly things. So the struggle is to turn this powerful mind towards God, towards the divine consciousness, towards turning the mind towards your own self. That means Atman. That means the indwelling spirit. That's the meaning of telling focus your mind on your inner self. That means on your inner spirit, which is beyond this body-mind equipment. So, we have been discussing this topic, struggles, taking the instructions of Sri Ramakrishna from chapter 28. Sri Ramakrishna has mentioned about this in other chapters also. Somebody asked him, Swamiji, mind is not under my control. That is the universal question. If mind is under control, what is the need of guru, or what is the need of holy association? What is the need of anything? If mind is controlled, then you have everything. But it is not easy to have that control for various reasons. Why the mind has been reduced to that state? It is because we are feeding them with so much of things, and we have made strong propensities by our activities, and we have directed ourselves in a particular fashion, and mind is died in that fashion. So now, probably after some bitter experiences in the life, probably after seeing suffering and misery, little awakening comes. What is all this? When that question comes, then you really want to know the reality, and then you want to see the mind behaves in a way conducive to your aspiration. So, Sri Ramakrishna has said that the only way to get control over the mind is practice. Lord Krishna says, Abhyasa Yoga. Only through constant practice you will be able to change the direction of the mind. So, it means struggle plays a very important part in everyone's spiritual life. In fact, in the last class I told, it is only after going through much inner struggle one gets into that state of perfection, one becomes saint. Saintliness presupposes a hard inner struggle fought to the finish. In the last class, we studied about the psychological approach towards struggles. In this class, I will try to dwell upon the religious point of view in our inner struggles. Both are important and both are helpful. Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi, the divine wife of Sri Ramakrishna, she made some observation. She said, well, everybody says regretfully, there is so much misery in the world. We have prayed so much to God, but still there is no end of misery. This is a very common statement. It's global, I should say. Everywhere people talk like this. And Holy Mother said, people talk this way. But Holy Mother says, misery is only the gift of God. That point you will understand when you come to spiritual life. Misery has got a lesson to teach. It comes to purify you thoroughly. It comes to give direction to your spiritual path. So it is a symbol of God's compassion. In fact, if you are well acquainted with the story of Mahabharata, a great epic, the mother of the Pandavas who were righteous, she had to pass through lots of mental tensions and difficult situations, starting from her life till the end. But in spite of all these sufferings and misery, she maintained her tranquil state of the mind. How was it possible? Because Lord Krishna was always with her. He would always come and give comfort to her. So, whenever she saw Lord Krishna, all her miseries just melted away. And she would feel tremendously purified and would feel tremendous joy inside her heart. Then she prayed to Lord Krishna, "Oh Krishna, how loving and kind you are. I am not afraid of these troubles and difficult situations at all. If only it is assured that I will have your vision all the time. I don't care for these sufferings." That's the way how the spiritual aspirants should look into their way of life. In these words, Sri Sharda Devi sounds the keynote of the religious view of the afflictions and struggles we have to face in the life. All the mystics of the world, they speak in one voice on this matter. They say that God, what does He do? First He eludes. Then He oppresses. Then finally He reveals His grace. Why all these things? Sri Ramakrishna says in one word, it is the sport of God. Finished. You can't question that why it is done like that. Why it is. You know, business to ask why. Because you can't find the answer to that why. As long as your mind is immersed in worldliness, you can't find the answer for that question. If you have to have the answer for that question, you must have the vision of God. When you have that vision of God, the question will not arise at all. Finished. There is a definite scheme of the struggles and sufferings in the life of a spiritual aspirant. Nothing is done without a purpose. Everything has got its definite result. Whether you like it or not, it will be there. It doesn't ask your permission. It acts upon. That is a law of nature. It acts upon. In the first stage, to those who enter newly the precincts of spiritual life, God grants some foretaste of heavenly joy in order to withdraw them from earthly pleasures and encourage them in the pursuit of divine life. God is like mother. What does she do? In order to allure the babe to her breast, she applies honey. In the second stage, according to His wisdom, God withholds from them the milk and honey, the sweetness and joy of spiritual life, and surrounds them with darkness and tribulations, with the temptations and tortures of spiritual life. In this season of extreme dreariness and sterility, they feel themselves completely forsaken by God and even by their own inner goodness and strength. This is the most difficult period of spiritual life which comes to every earnest seeker. It is not as if this stage comes upon us undeserved from the hands of a God who is not bothered by a sense of justice. This is the view of the Western mystics. One of the Western mystics, Saint Francis de Sales, he points out that if we examine the sources from which this situation has developed with us, we shall find that we ourselves are often the cause of our sterility and dryness. God's way of nurturing in spiritual life is to infuse in us the required strength to go through the inner struggles, through the struggles themselves. These inner struggles should not therefore be blindly resented, but wakefully accepted. Struggles will be there all the same. But if we resent them, we shall profit nothing. We must try to obtain from them as much spiritual profit as possible. Having entered the spiritual life, if one has been long without inner struggles, then there are reasons to worry. But not the other way about. What does it mean? It means inner growth will invariably be preceded by inner strife. There is no way of growing in spiritual life except through fire and tears. A famous Indian mystic, Ram Prasad, he has composed hundreds of songs having deep spiritual significance. In one of the songs he had composed, Ram Prasad, the great mystic saint, he has addressed his mind. O my mind, if you intend to attain the blessed feet of the Divine Mother, what you should do? Give up all ideas of happiness. Do not get annoyed if I tell you this simple truth, that in happiness is sorrow and in miseries is happiness. That's a vain hope. If you aspire for the highest through counterfeit devotion, the divine stickler for strictness is going to extract the lost penny out of you. The spiritual aspirant, he is like a soldier. Soldier means he is on the battle front. He is involved in inner struggles. If he wants victory, what he should do? He must not accept a soft life, but only hardships and ever more hardships. It may be said in truth that a war is not won on the battlefront, but in the camp where the soldier is trained and made battle ready. That's most important stage. The greatest secret in regard to waging the inner struggle, or rather in regulating it, is in knowing the fact that the inner struggle is not won by giving a mad fight in the critical periods of our life, but by what we think and do in our daily lives to keep ourselves battle ready. That's important. So the next point is, complacency is a direct enemy of spiritual life. Let no one imagine that he will for all time escape inner struggles by some sort of cleverness. Inner struggles of a bitter type may last quite a long time. They may come at any period of life. Living an untroubled life for long is no guarantee against getting into difficulties at an advanced age. All serious aspirants should therefore know how to be battle ready and also do regular spiritual exercise in their daily life. If a man thinks that he will learn how to operate the fire extinguisher after the house is on fire, we do not think much of his intelligence. What exactly is battle readiness for inner struggles? That's the next question. You know, Belur Mutt is the headquarters of the great Ramakrishna order. The first president of this great mission was Swami Brahmanand, the spiritual son of Sri Ramakrishna, which you see just here below the altar. One morning, Swami Brahmanji was walking on the bank of Ganga. That is where our Belur Mutt monastery has been situated. When he was walking, he met a young monk He saw him and called him. Well, come, let me visit your room. He was startled. He didn't expect that situation would come. The president of the order was willing to come to his room. Unthinkable. He was embarrassed. Instead of being happy at this unexpected gesture of kindness from the president of the order, he said, "Well, Maharaj, will you kindly come a little later?" Swami Brahmanji asked, "Why? Why are you asking like that?" The monk replied, "Maharaj, I have not kept my room tidy. I shudder to have to receive you there." Then Brahmanji made a very significant statement which is very pertinent to our topic. He said, "My son, you should be expecting me always." Brahmanji says that. This was one of the most spiritual, important lessons the young Swami received in his life. What Swami Brahmananda conveyed to him by those few casually spoken words was that God was to be expected every moment in one's life. We have to live our daily life in expectancy of the divine, as though God might appear before us at any time. How do we really know that God may not come to us today? This attitude of life is a foundation on which we shall have to build our battle readiness for inner struggles. But this attitude, only he who is convinced after due reflection on and proper examination of all the values of life, that God realization or the attainment of illumination is the be-all and end-all of his existence, the ultimate objective of human life. Intellectual conviction alone will not do. He must become emotionally so imbued with the idea that it should course through his veins and tingle in his bloodstream. It must become the dominating urge of his soul. Such a conviction, theoretical though it may appear, will serve a great practical purpose as far as battle readiness is concerned. In simple words, it will help us shape our minds. And battle readiness for inner struggle means nothing but molding the mind so as to be able to face all the temptations and tribulations of life. All our bondage and suffering, conflicts and defeats, happiness and victory are felt in the mind only. Molding the mind is therefore the primary task, and nothing is more helpful in molding the mind than the constant cherishing of the idea that all we do in daily life is preparation and readiness for a divine encounter. A fight is not only delivering a mortal blow on the enemy, but clearing an impediment on the way to where we want to go. So, always remembering where we want to go will be the most important part of successful fighting. To this end, while seeing to it that the mind is slowly and surely molded by the idea that the attainment of illumination is the ultimate end of human life, we shall have to do some direct operations on the mind too. We shall have to remove whatever poison we have already accumulated in our minds, and also see that we do not take in any fresh contagion from without. Moreover, the power resources of the mind will have to be unlocked. All the powers that we require for waging the inner struggle are within ourselves. In inner struggles, two types of operations will always be needed. One is defensive measures, the second one aggressive measures. How do we remove the poisons that are already within our minds? What are you talking about poisons? What are these poisons? These poisons are our sinful tendencies. Whence do they arise? A deep-going self-analysis will show that they all arise from our will to enjoy the temporal. We want them. It started like that. And they are fed, aided, and strengthened by subtle deceptions of our mind, many of which arise from the subconscious. From the will to enjoy arises clinging to life. From clinging to life arise all attachments and aversions, likes and dislikes. Of course, at the root of the will to enjoy things phenomenal is our ego sense, which is rooted in our ignorance of the Atman. Ignorance of the Atman is the cause of all these problems. Although our will to enjoy remains strong, we are trying to follow a way of life which calls for the giving up the enjoyments, which is not very easy. So, herein comes the struggle. We give up and give in. We give in and give up. In this way, the seesaw struggle continues. If we get stuck in this giving up and giving in game of inner life, we may not be making any progress if we get stuck up there. So what we should do, in order to get out of it, we must vigorously attack our will to enjoy the phenomenal. Every word is important, what I have told you now. In a world where the pursuit of happiness is considered to be a legitimate objective of life, it requires boldness to say that we must give up our will to enjoy. But we have to remember the context. What is that? We are trying to find out ways of victory in inner struggles. That is the context. These disciplines are meant only for those who are serious about spiritual life. Others are free to enjoy as much as they want and also to take whatever goes with it. Those, however, who want victory in inner struggles must give up the will to enjoy the phenomenal. How can they do it? As Lord Krishna has said, by two methods. One is abhyas, practice. Second, vairagya, dispassion. I will continue the same topic in my next Tuesday class. Page number 552. Another scene. A guest has arrived at the house of Jagannath Mishra, Nimai's father. The boy Nimai plays about, singing with his friends in a happy mood. Tell me, where is my blessed Vrindavan? Where is my mother Yashoda? Where father Nanda and brother Balai? Where are my twin cows, black and white? Tell me, where is my magic flute? My friends Sudama and Sridama? Where my Jamuna's bank, my banyan? Where my beloved Gopi maids? Where is Radha, queen of my heart? The guest closes his eyes while offering food to the Lord. Nimai runs to him and eats the food from the plate. The guest recognizes Nimai as an incarnation of God and seeks to please him with the hymn of the 10 incarnations before taking leave of Gauranga's parents. He sings, Glory to Gora, the source of bliss. Hail Gauranga, Redeemer of earth. We are observing his birthday in this month. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His name is also called Gauranga. Help of the helpless, life of the living, slayer of fear in the hearts of the fearful. Age after age we see thy play. New sports unfolding, moods ever new. New waves rolling, new tales to be told. Those who bearest the whole world's burden, shower on us the nectar of love. Take away our grief and affliction. Thou in love's pleasure cave dost dwell. Hope of the suffering, chastiser of sin, scourge of the wicked. Victory to thee. Listening to the hymn, the master was thrilled with ecstasy. The next scene is at Navadvip on the bank of the Ganges. After bathing in the holy water, the Brahmin men and women engage in worship by the riverside. As they close their eyes, Nimai steals their food offerings and begins to eat them. A Brahmin loses his temper and says, You scapegrace, you rascal, you are taking away my offering for Vishnu. Ruin will seize you. Nimai holds on to the offering and is about to run away. Many of the women love him dearly and cannot bear to have him go away. They call to him, Return, O Nimai, come back, O Nimai. Nimai turns a deaf ear to them. One of the women, however, knows the irresistible charm that will bring him back. She loudly chants the name of Hari. Immediately he repeats the name of Hari and comes back. M was seated beside the master. Sri Ramakrishna could not control himself. He cried out awe and shed tears of love. He said to Baburam and M, Don't make a fuss if I fall into an ecstatic mood or go into samadhi. Then the worldly people will take me for a cheat. Another scene. Nimai is invested with the sacred thread of the Brahmins. He puts on the traditional ochre robe of the sannyasi, Mother Shachi, and the women of the neighborhood stand about while he begs for alms, singing, Drop a morsel of food, I pray, into my begging bowl. Alone I roam, a new-made yogi, on the highways of the world. People of Braja, you I love, and so, time and again, I come to you. At hunger's call, I beg my food from door to door. The sun is low, and I must seek my home on the Jamuna's bank. Into its waters fall my tears, as onward, murmuring it flows. The onlookers leave the stage. Nimai stands alone. The gods in the guise of Brahmin, men and women, sing his praises. Men sing, the body gleams like liquid moonlight. Thou hast put on man's dwarfish form. O Lord, thee we salute. Women praised, Bewitcher of the gopis' hearts, thou roamest in the shady groves about Vrindavan's vale. Nimai said, Hail Sri Radha, glory to Radha. Men prayed, the youths of Braja are thy friends. Thou curbest haughty Madan's pride. Women sang, thy love has made the gopis mad. In ecstasy, the Jamuna thrills. Men praised, Narayana, deluder of demons, refuge of the fear-stricken gods. Women praised, O lover of Braja, thou dost beg the love of Braja's comely maidens. Nimai praised, Hail Sri Radha, glory to Radha. Listening to the music, the master went into samadhi, the curtain fell and the orchestra played on. Don't be afraid of struggles. Struggles come to an end when you have the vision of God. That means there will be struggles till you realize the truth. That's the point. So, be always ready. Battle readiness is important. If you are to be a soldier, you must be ever ready to fight. No complacency. That's the point we should bear all the time. We must be ever watchful and must never yield to any kind of weaknesses. As I said, sometimes we give up, sometimes we give in. This goes on for some time till you become strong enough to give up finally. The idea is you have to give up the things which pull you towards the world, and you must prepare yourself thoroughly to be drawn towards the divine. The spirit is, you must have that pure thought in yourself. Whatever you give in devotion, in love, that will be accepted by God. Whatever, but if it is not smeared with love and devotion, God is not very anxious to accept. If the child gives the candy to the mother, mother opens her mouth widely, like that. Because she is happy to see the baby giving the candy. So that's the way. How the approach, the attitude, in what attitude you are giving, that's important. And so you must have that kind of devotion and faith in God. Then you give whatever you give, that will be accepted. That's the idea. Whatever you give means God doesn't expect very costly things from you. Suppose you are not financially sound, even though you give a little bit of butter, that's enough for Him. Like that, that's the idea. Karma Yoga is a very vast subject. Actually, Karma Yoga means anything that you do which makes you selfless is called Karma Yoga. Let it be anybody. It should be make you more and more selfless and more loving. Your loving must be unconditional. Then it becomes service. If you love your child, there is nothing special about that, because it is your child and you call it service. No doubt it is also a service. If you love the neighbor's child, your love has expanded a little bit. If you love the child of another nation, you are really better than before. So like that, to the extent you expand yourself, to that extent it opens up. The idea is you must become selfless. Seeing the divine in everyone, that concept, that should be realized in your life, in your actions. When you love everybody, then there is no need for you to hate anyone. And when you love everybody, whatever you do will be an act of worship. Wherever you may be doing, it is not necessary you should go to slum area and do the service. Wherever you go, wherever you do the work, if you do with this attitude, then it's called service. But if you go to slum and do some kind of service with a ulterior motivation, with something in your mind, in order to have some kind of benefit for yourself, then it is not Karma Yoga. And we shall conclude now. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drown deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy. How huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for Thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is Thy servant, O sweet one. In Thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath Thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant separation from Thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years. When my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without Thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at Thy feet let me be, an unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of Thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of Thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O Thou who stillest the hearts of Thy devotees, do with me what Thou wilt, for Thou art my heart's beloved, Thou and Thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For He being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.